This is the neighborhood stray cat. My neighbors and I call him Tiger, and he is absolutely adorable.
So Tiger just showed up on our front porch one day, and I started feeding him, and he's been hanging around ever since. I don't bring him inside because we have a big dog named Cooper. And Cooper is not friendly towards strange cats. It took him a while to warm up to the one cat that we do have. And so bringing another cat into the house, I just don't think is an option. So I bought Tiger a cute little house that he can stay in because the weather is about to get cold. And it came this weekend, and I put it together yesterday. I bought it on Amazon. It cost about $100, and it took about 15 minutes to put together. And it's really cute, but I just don't think that it's airtight. I don't want it to be airtight. I just don't think it's going to be warm enough. And so I'm going to do a few little tweaks to it to hopefully make it warmer. As you can see, he's not too concerned about the cold weather right now. It's probably in the upper 40s right now, but it's supposed to get colder throughout the day until it gets into the 20s tonight. So here's this little house that I bought him, and it's a cute house. It has this top that opens up. I put a little blanket in there for him. And it has this divider that divides the two areas for some extra wind protection, I guess. But what I don't like is that the bottom is just these slats of boards. And so I'd like to put some insulation under there for him. And then if possible, maybe somehow insulate the walls a little bit more. So here's my plan. I have these PVC boards that are left over from a previous project. And I'm going to use those to kind of create a little skirting around the bottom area on this house right here on all four sides. And that will give me something to put some insulation up underneath the floor.
Before I can cut my boards, obviously I need to take some measurements. I'm going to measure from side to side on the front and then from front to back. I'm measuring the distance between the legs. Use those measurements for cutting my PVC boards. Now, I've used PVC boards for this just because that is what I had on hand from a previous project. But you can honestly use anything for this. You can use extra plywood that you have. You can even use fence boards if you have extra fence boards from a fence that you built laying around. Really, any kind of scrap wood that you have would do just fine for this. It doesn't have to be fancy. I thought about using pocket holes in order to put these on, but really it was so cold and windy outside that I just wanted to get it done as quickly as possible and as easily as possible. So I just held the board up and nailed right through the leg of the house, right into the end of the board. I used 16 gauge, 2.5-inch nails for this. I had all four of those pieces on. I put the cat house on its back so that I could access the area that I had just created with those little skirting boards. And then I cut some pieces of insulation that I had left over from a project that we just finished up in our house. If you don't have insulation, there are so many different materials that you can use to insulate a pet house. You could use old t-shirts put in there. You could use packing materials that you get from your Amazon packages, whether it's the styrofoam, packing peanuts, anything like that. You could even use, well, I was about to say wadded up newspapers. Do we have newspapers anymore? I don't even know. But you could use something like that, packing paper, anything like that, kind of wadded up and put into that space. And then once I had that filled with the insulation, I cut a piece of plywood on my table saw to fit inside. And then I just nailed that into place using the same 2.5-inch nails. I just nailed right through the outside of the skirting board and into the edge of the plywood.
Okay, so the last thing that I did is just put some cardboard, 2 layers of cardboard on the outer walls of a little sleeping area. And I don't know if you know this, but you can actually cut thick cardboard like this on a miter saw or a table saw. That's what I used in order to cut these pieces down. Well, these are just boxes, like from Amazon packages and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm going to put the little blanket back in and see if Tiger will go in.
Y'all, Tiger loves his house. He has used it every single night ever since I insulated it for him. And he seems really cozy inside. I actually bought a warming pad. It's an electric warming pad made specifically for animals. And I put it in there, and he didn't like it. When that warming pad was in there, he would not use his house. So I took it back out, and he started using his house again. So anyway, he seems to be very comfortable in it, and I find him in there regularly throughout the day and every single night. I'm so glad that he has this warm place to stay. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the little bell next to it so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. And of course, you can always find me and my latest projects over on addicted2decorating.com. See you next time.